Next on Worcester News Tonight, a body found and burned in Worcester. Details of the investigation that is underway right now. Plus, hundreds show their support for veterans today in Worcester. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Tim McCone. Worcester firefighters are called to a burning car late Wednesday, but what seemed like a routine call soon turned into a crime scene. Olivia Lemon is following the investigation for us and has more.
I'm shocked. I'm really shocked.
I would never expect anything like that to happen in this area.
Word of a body found inside this burned car has neighbors near Swan Avenue asking questions.
It's not unusual to have a call for a car fire up there.
Worcester Deputy Fire Chief John Sullivan says firefighters got a call for a burning car Wednesday night. He says the rural area is a common area for people to abandon stolen cars. Sullivan says firefighters were surprised to find a body, though.
At that point, we basically backed out our resources, secured the scene for PD, called the PD in the fire investigative unit, and handed it over to the police at that point.
Police were on scene Thursday morning. Members of the crime scene unit and detective bureau are working to identify the body and find out what happened. Sullivan admits the situation is unusual, but says illegal dumping in the neighborhood has been an ongoing issue for the city.
Not necessarily burned every time. You know, oftentimes they're just looking for a place to get out undetected. Generally speaking, there shouldn't be cars there, so that makes our folks a little more heightened awareness in terms of any potential crime scene.
As the investigation continues, neighbors are still left wondering what actually happened here.
You wouldn't expect something like that happening.
And that was our Olivia Lemon reporting. Well, an accident in Northborough tonight leaves one passenger in the hospital. It took place around 6:30 at the intersection of Bartlett Street and Route 20. The crash involved two cars and is still under investigation. The extent of the injuries is still unknown. Meanwhile, state police say a Barry man told them his brakes stopped working before his car hit a state police cruiser. The accident happened around 2 this afternoon at the Ararat Street exit in Worcester. The state police say the 22-year-old driver of this Buick Century was not hurt. The state trooper was also not injured. The incident slowed traffic down for about 45 minutes. State police say the car was towed back to Holden, where his brakes will be inspected. Just weeks since Worcester named an interim superintendent for the public schools, many are talking about who will be appointed to the full-time position. A petition circulating online for more than a week calls for Bienenda to be the next superintendent. Bienenda is currently the principal at South High in Worcester. Bienenda has not officially announced she'll be applying for the permanent position, but she was a candidate for the interim post last month. The school committee voted 4-3 to appoint Dr. Marco Rodriguez. Creators of the petition say Bienenda will fix the mistakes of outgoing superintendent Dr. Melinda Boone.
Before, Maureen, Bienenda is going to be open, full book that you can see. There's not going to be any of the hiding. There's not going to be the political doublespeak. You're going to hear Maureen's words, and they're going to mean what she says. There's no guessing where Maureen will stand on the issue. Maureen has the ability to work with everybody, where the previous school superintendent broke everyone up, conquered and divided.
The petition already has more than 200 signatures. Well, from City Square to Gateway Park, the city has seen some transformation over the last few years. And today, the Research Bureau and Chamber of Commerce held a panel discussion to make sure the momentum in the city continue. Took as part of the Business Expo at the DCU Center today, and the focus was on building leadership in the business and nonprofit sectors. Panelists also discussed the importance of keeping the graduates of the local colleges in the area.
Well, I think that we heard a lot that networking is important and mentoring is important, and how we create a way to retain some college graduates in Worcester in particular, given that we have such a rich number of college students.
We have a very intentional strategy at the Chamber, working with the colleges and universities to grow the number of internship opportunities, market them aggressively, getting our businesses to think about creating internship programs when they don't have one. We believe, and there's data to back it up, that if you can get students off campus working, doing internships, working part-time jobs, they're more likely to stay after they graduate. And they recognize there are a lot of world-class companies, both large and small, for them to go to work in after they graduate.
As I mentioned, the Chamber of Commerce Annual Business Expo was today, and many also got a pep talk from one of the state's top business leaders. Our Patricia Nicholas was there today and has more.
A long line at the DCU Center Thursday morning for the Chamber of Commerce's annual Business Expo. More than 50 local businesses showcase their products and services. Jerry Gross of Cumulus Global says the expo is all about marketing and growing business.
Knowledge, not knowledge me giving out, but actually knowledge of people, what they're doing and what they see out there in the business community, and how we can possibly, slip in and help out if need be.
Jay Ash, the state secretary of Housing and Economic Development, spoke to the crowd. He says Worcester's economy serves as an example for the state.
So we're excited about places that are doing all the right things in order to grow, and Worcester is doing that. The leadership is really coalesced around a common vision for the community, and we want to support that vision.
Simplex Grinnell specializes in items that protect people and property. They say the expo is a great place to gain exposure in the heart of the Commonwealth. And they say they have high hopes this year.
Definitely, we have a strong footprint within the local community, and the growing need to protect properties and people from, the ever-growing needs.
Participants were able to attend seminars and a networking reception. Ash says Worcester businesses are on the right track.
It's important that people recognize that they're having success, because sometimes when you're in the middle of the success, you don't feel it as much. But from an outsider's perspective now, who doesn't get the great opportunity to be in Worcester every day, I felt it was important to come in and to reemphasize what's happening here and congratulate people for everything that's happening here.
Patricia Nicholas, Worcester News Tonight.
The young man once believed to be involved in the Boston Marathon bombings spoke out today about his experience and how it changed his life. It was 2.5 years ago that the now college student appeared on the front page of the New York Post, dubbed by the newspaper as being one of the bagmen. Michael Rosenfield has more.
My name is Salah.
Salah Barhoum, now 19 and a student at Fitchburg State, revealing how he dealt with the aftermath of seeing his face on the front page.
I myself was accused by New York Post. It says, bagman. Two feds seek these two suspects at the finish line.
It was this photo that would change his life forever. That's Salah on the right and wearing blue.
And that picture had over 6,000 comments. And they were all about the same thing. It was like, are you a terrorist? We're on to you.
He was 16 at the time, a sophomore at Revere High School. He moved to the U.S. from Morocco just a few years earlier, and this was his first time at the marathon. And suddenly the whole world's attention was focused on him and what he calls a mix of racism, stereotyping, and hatred.
All that happened because they jumped to conclusion. I'm not gonna lie, that affected my whole life. That changed everything about me.
He was one of the thousands of spectators at the finish line. He left about 20 minutes before the bombs went off. And as investigators searched for clues, the New York Post published this photo. It was Salah and a friend of his, the headline linking the two to the bombings. Soon, authorities released images of the Tsarnaev brothers, the real culprits, but the damage was done. Threats were made. He was afraid to leave his house. He struggled with depression. His grades dropped substantially.
I learned that life goes on. I have learned that life is full of obstacles and struggles and so many things that can break you down and leave you down for the rest of your life. But it's all on you. If you want to be successful, then face your fears, face your obstacles.
Salah decided to get past the anger and bitterness, a message he's sharing with classmates.
Use your problems to be, something that motivates you to be successful in the future.
Next week, many will pay tribute to those that served our country on Veterans Day. Today, hundreds of volunteers pitched in to help some of those local veterans. Our Andy Madison has a look at the efforts to improve veteran facilities.
The work started early Thursday morning.
They were originally supposed to paint the third floor, but because of their incredible efficiency, they actually brought themselves down to the second floor and were able to paint several rooms there.
Hundreds of volunteers on the second and third floor of Veterans Inc. in Worcester.
Not my best work.
Rolling in a new look for the facility.
We'll eventually move all of our staff over here and then be able to renovate and make efficiency units for the veterans that live, the 84 veterans that live across the way.
Many members of our staff are, are actual veterans themselves. So we have, veterans helping other veterans.
Central Massachusetts is home to about 150,000 veterans.
That was set in motion. I got there in 1985.
Veterans like Michael Donovan, who says he's noticed a change in how veterans are treated.
There's more appreciation and more awareness. More and more folks are aware of veterans. It's worked out really good. So it's nice to be appreciated.
Upgrading Veterans Inc. is just one way to help those who serve. And people we spoke with say there's always more to be done throughout the year.
For us, every day is Veterans Day.
Who deserves a home more than veterans? Those folks who put their life on the line for all of us.
H&M stores all over the world were mobbed with crazed shoppers desperately trying to get their hands on the H&M Ballman collection that went on sale this morning. Items that would normally sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars are being sold at H&M for a fraction of the price. The world-famous design was made popular by celebrities including Kim Kardashian and her family, maybe even Kevin Shea and Andy Lacombe. But as you can see, the line wrapped around the block at the H&M store on Newbury Street in Boston. The new line is so popular, H&M's website crashed after the overload of customers. But shoppers who were lucky to get their hands on some Ballman gear say the hours of waiting were worth it.
Like a brand that usually has one thing for $1,000, is having that brand's name and value for $100 or $200 is huge.
So worth the wait?
Worth the wait.
Some Ballman dresses and jackets are being resold on eBay and are going for double, triple, or even 5 times more than their original sale price. MGM Springfield officials will discuss its proposed casino design changes in front of the State Gaming Commission today in Boston. The changes included getting rid of the 25-story hotel tower for a 6-story building with the same number of rooms. The switch-up has some concerned.
Main design element they had in terms of attracting people from off-site, especially people coming from the south, was the hotel tower. They must be in deep trouble if they're giving up that big flag.
New plans also have less space for entertainment, retail, and parking. It's an overall 14% reduction in size, but MGM says it stands by its promise to build an $800 million casino.